The greatest bracha is that the source of bracha is not to be jealous. Now, other Mefarshim say, Ephraim and Menashe, they grew up in Mitzrayim. Even though they grew up in the land of Tameh and Tumah, but they became whatever that they became, and that's the mark of Gahal Israel. Mark of Gahal Israel is that even though that everything goes wrong, you do the right thing, and that's the greatest bracha. Yom Yisrael Yosef, he said to Yosef, Anochi met, I'm going to die, Hashem would be with you, and Hashem would take you back to Eretz Lecha, and I will give you Shechem Echad, one more portion, Alachecha, besides your brother. Asher lokachti miyad ha'emori, that I took from the hand of the Mori, beharbi u'bekashti, with my sword and with my bow. Now what is that? Rashi says, Shechem mamash hi tiyeh lecha kerech, bechar u'bekashti, kishar gu Shimon Levi et Anshe Sodom. Rashi says, when Shimon Levi they killed out the Anshe Sodom, all of the countries around, states around, they got together and said, what? This Yaakov destroyed this, we're going to destroy them. And Yaakov kelim milchama kneitan, and Yaakov took his weapon and he went against them and he fought with them and he captured the land. Now the land that he captured is giving it to Yosef. That's Shechem Echad that I get. No, what does Charbi Bikashti mean? Charbi Bikashti means sword. Man Bikashti Shem Echad Yabechora Shetu LeBanav Shnei Chalapim v'Shechem Echad LeBechora. Now Ongolos taking Ongolos says Bisruti Ubaoti. Ongolos says Charbi Bikashti Cherem means sword. Kashti means bow, means seloti, my tefillah, ubaoti, and my begging. No, really, he didn't fight with the sword and with the bow. He fought with the tefillah and bakosha. Now, we say that when you fight with the enemy is close to you, bow doesn't help. You can't kill him with the bow. You could kill him with the sword. If the enemy is far away from you, you can't kill him with the sword, but you could kill him with the arrow and bow. Now here, Torah is telling us, Charbi Ukashti, that Yaakov Avinu used both of them, the sword and the bow. He said he used both and killed them. Now, what does it mean? Tefillah also, we have two types of tefillah. One tefillah is that the person works out the meaning, translation, and this. Kashti, bow, the deeper, the harder you pull it, the further it goes. Right, Rashi says ba'uti. Ba'uti means by begging. The begging that comes very inside of a person and he pushes himself and comes very much inside of a person, it goes much further. Now, the very important question in Torah is, if really Torah means tefillah and begging, what should Torah say? Torah should say sword and bow, or Torah should say tefillah and begging? What should Torah say? Torah should say tefillah and begging. Why Torah says sword and bow? Sure. Now the first thing say like this. Once there was the airplane was moving, and they got some difficulties, and the pilot really doesn't know what to do. He looks at all of the things. He says, "There's a rabbi in the back." Okay. Therefore, he tells everybody, "Fasten your belt. We are a difficult occasion, and I don't know what's going to happen." And he tries very hard, whatever that he could. Finally, he takes off the airplane properly, and everybody goes on, and everybody says thank you and getting off. He gets to the rabbi. The pilot told him that when he gets to the rabbi, everybody in the airplane was relying on me, and I was relying on you. Oh wow! The pilot says, "I'm relying on you." This is the reality of the thing. Yaakov Avinu is telling us that if tefillah, I say, okay, something, I daven, I pray. Or tefillah is a reality, just like sword and bow is the reality of life. It's real. Tefillah also is real. Therefore, it depends on how the dimension of tefillah is. Yaakov Avinu here is telling us the real sword and the real bow for Yaakov Avinu to tefillah, the real weapon of Yaakov Avinu is tefillah. Always I say tefillah is like this. Imagine you have to travel 12 hours in a desert line, and there is no gas and there is no supply of gas. You have to fill up your buck before leaving for 12 hours. Now it's 6 o'clock, and 6 o'clock you have to be in the 6 o'clock a.m., 6 o'clock p.m. you have to be in the destination. And you try to fill up your gas, and you fill up halfway, 6:05. You say it's late, I have to run. What do? Half empty, the back half is empty, and you leave. What's going to happen to you? In the middle of the road, you're going to get starved. Therefore, the person has to understand that's the pshat of tefillah. Tefillah gives us the chiyut of the day. Tefillah gives us the bracha of the day. Running for tefillah, it doesn't help us. It makes it worse. Because, through the tefillah, through traveling, through praying, we make the day into a day. The bracha of the day comes through. In other words, it's like mamash, it's like Yaakov said, "Becharev ukashti." That's my sword. Therefore, I don't leave empty, half empty back and leave. I don't do that. Because of that, because I realize this is the real gas that I need. Okay, we're going to go. Perek Memted, yes. Vayikra Yaakov el bana vayomer asfu. All of this parasha talks about the Petir of Yaakov. So far, he took care of Yosef, and he took care of the Kevura. Now he comes to the brothers and the children and talks to them. Vayikra Yaakov el bana vayomer. Yaakov called to his children, Yomandet, Asfu, gather, assemble yourselves, Vagid Alachim, I will tell you. What's going to happen at the end of the days. Now, Yaakov el Bana, Vayomer Asfu. A father on his deathbed, Yaakov calls his children. Why does he have to call your children? Give them beracha. From here we learn out. When you want to give a beracha, if the person is standing in front of you, is a greater beracha. That's why Yaakov wanted them to be there. Now, what's the first word that Yaakov is telling them? Asfu. You should get together, gather, assemble yourselves. Achtut. You have to have a unity. If you have unity, you could fight with everything. Nothing comes in front of you. And if you don't have unity, you got nothing. Therefore, asfu. You have to get together, assemble yourself. And I will let you know what's going to happen to you at the end of the days. And Hashem didn't let. Therefore, there's a machloket here between Yaakov Avinu and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. How should we deal with Rahal Israel? In other words, Yaakov is a kind father, and what does he want to do? This kind father wants to make the children to be comfortable, to be happy. Now he thinks, how should I make them happy? I know that they're going to go through torture, they're going to go through suffering. The enemy is going to tear them apart, to burn them, to destroy them, to do what he could do to them. Now, what, as a kind father, how could I help my nation? How could I help my children? He fears if he tells them, do you know, at the end of this dark tunnel, there is a light. See the light is going to be there at that time. If he tells them, and he reveals to them, that is the best remedy for them. Through tortures, through suffering of life, through whatever that is going to happen to them. When they have that light, would carry them, would give them courage, empowers them. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, no, it doesn't work like that, Yaakov. If you let them know when the end is, maybe the end is very far. What's going to happen from now till that time? If a person would feel that Mashiach would not come till 1,000 from now, what would happen to him? He would give up. He would get lost. Therefore, we don't do that. Now, then, what's the remedy? How are we going to make them happy? How are we going to let them to take the torture and to be able to enable them to carry themselves? He says, get together and listen, Bnei Yaakov, Shmuel Israel Levychaim, listen to Israel, your father. Very interesting. He says, Asfu and Iqabsu. Farshim say, what's the difference between Asfu and Iqabsu? Asfu means gather. We could gather 10 people in one room, but they have 20 ideas. 10 people, 100 ideas, 20 ideas. We need 2 Jews, we need 3 shuls, right? Therefore, Yaakov Avinu says, Hasfu, you should gather, but that's not enough. Kapsu. Kapsa means kibitza, you all become one. That's why in the Beracha that you say in Shemon Esrei, what do you say, Baruch Ata Hashem, Mekabes, Nitche Amo Yisrael. We don't say Me'aseh, we say Mekabes. Because kibbutz means under one flag, one point, not just physical gathering. It's making them under one goal. Then, Taka, the Pasuk says, we have Nitche Israel and we say Nefuse Yehuda. Nitche Israel means 10 tribes, you don't know where they are. That we need Asifa. From where we don't know, we have to bring them. Nefuse Yehuda, we know where they are, but they are scattered all over. They need Kebitza, to be covered together. Now, Yaakov Avinu says unbelievable point. V'shimu b'nei Yaakov, v'shimu li Yisrael Avraham. In other words, he says b'nei Yaakov means Yaakov lower darga. If you are in lower darga, you are in Galut, Yikapsu, v'shimu b'nei Yaakov. If you are in state of b'nei Yaakov, you have to Yikapsu. You have to come together. You have to leave the hatred, jealousy, and all of these things. Then v'shimu el Yisrael Avraham. If you come together from Bnei Yaakov, you're going to become to Israel Avraham, Israel Sabah, Israel, that image of Yaakov Avinu, which is Kisakavod. The boy tells them, listen, the secret is by you. If you are Bnei Yaakov, you got no place. But once you come in Ikapsu, if you get together, then you have Israel Avraham. Now, he wanted to reveal the Geula, the cats. He couldn't. What does he do? He comes and he gives them bracha. Listen to the bracha. Reuven bechoriata. Reuven, you are my firstborn. Kochi bereshidoni, my first strength and the first vigor. Yeter se veter oz. Exceedingly in rank, exceedingly in power. Pachas kabayim totar. You rushed like a water, rushing down and coming down. Because you rushed al totar, you cannot exceed, you cannot get greatness. That's why you lost it. Now, what was the rushing that you did? You mounted, you came up the bed of your father. In other words, when Rachel died, Yaakov put his Ikar bed in the tent of Bilhah, the Shivcha of Leah, and Reuben got angry. Got anger. He said, what? As long as Rachel is alive, my mother is second. But now that Rachel is dead, my mother is second. He went and he disturbed the bed of the father. Then you desecrated. What did you desecrated? Yitzui. My bed, Allah. You say Alita or Allah. Alita means the bed that you came up. Allah means would ascend. Now, what does Yitzui Allah would ascend means? The thing that used to ascend to my bed every day. What is that? Shekhinah. In other words, unbelievable yesod in life. Goyim get married, their bed is Hollywood. The Israel, they get married, their bed is Kodesh HaKodashim. In other words, Kodesh HaKodashim, what do we have? We have a boy and a girl on the top of the Aron HaKodesh. Because the relationship that comes through lust and just to satisfy themselves, that's Hollywood. But the relationship that comes through harmonious, to think about the other one, how could I give more? How could I have? How could I make the other one happy? Not to be selfish and self-centered. And that's the purpose of marriage. Torah says, Lo tov yod adam levado, it's not good a person to be by himself. Why isn't it good? As psychologists, they need companionship. They need to care for somebody. The hormones are growing in a way that they need to have somebody, this and that. But what about if somebody goes to a marriage and comes to you and says, I don't care for all of these things. I don't want to stay in marriage. It's not worth it for me. I don't want it. What do you tell him? Torah says, Lo tov heyot ha'adam levado. It's not good for a person to be by himself. Do you know why the Torah says that the person should get married? Torah says, Rashi says, because Lo tov heyot ha'adam levado, Rashi right over there in the Pasuk says, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Yachid ve'elyonim. Hashem is one unique in Elyonim, and here Adam is unique in Tachtonim. It's one. Hashem is one and Adam is one. If he doesn't get married, we say there are two authorities. One authority up there, one authority is down here. The whole explanation of marriage according to Torah is breaking an idol. What's the idol? Being selfish and self-centered. And that's a gateway to happiness. Because somebody who is selfish and self-centered cannot enjoy life. Life is giving. Life is caring for somebody else. Life is a matter of breaking your own idol. Once a person could get rid of that idol within himself, then he captured the life. He's alive, he's vital. Somebody who is selfish and self-centered, he eats up himself. He just self-gratification. And he just destroys himself one after the other one. Therefore, all pshat of marriage is to break the idol, to destroy that idol. And Torah tells us, how do you destroy the idol? It says, Ezer kenegdo. I make a helper opposite of him. Chazal say, if he's the helper, it's not opposite. If it's opposite, it's not helper. How could the helper be opposite? There is only one case in life that the opposite is helper. What is that case? When you are supposed to break your idol. Because if it's opposite of you, what happens to you? You have two choices. You could heat up your arrogancy, get into fight, and ash to burn each other, or you could say, wow, there is another authority here. I have to listen, I have to submit. I can't think just about myself. I can't just think about myself to be just myself. I have to think about somebody else also. And that is, person leaves his father and mother, because why? It doesn't mean physically, mentality. The mentality of living with father and mother is very selfish and self-centered. Because let's say that imagine half an hour before Shabbat, you call your mother, I'm not coming home this Shabbat, I'm staying there. Oh, mother made supper, I don't eat supper. Then you could do whatever that you want. You live with your own self. But marriage says you have to come out from the box. No more selfish. No more. You have to think about somebody else. Like Avraham Levychaim, when they went to doctor, he didn't say that my wife's foot hurt, it's our foot hurt. That's the reality of life. When they become like that, that's the purpose of marriage. Now, what's Yaakov Avinu is telling Reuven? He's telling Reuven, Bechoriyata. Now, the Mefarshim say there are three types of zera that the person could use. One, the person could use the zera to have children. Could be children, mutar also, but the end part is children. So zera could be used for the taiva, or the zera could be used without any woman. Now, Yaakov will say that Reuven Bechori, you are the first child. You are the first child. Kochi, you are the first tashmish. Reshidoni, you are the first time that I was arose. That's Yaakov. When you think about Yaakov was 84-year-old when he saw and he didn't carry Yamav. And that was the Reshit Kocho. Therefore, he's telling Reuven that Reuven, if you messed up the father's bed, don't think that's because of me. Don't suspect me, because I kept myself very clean, that the family should be clean. Now, Yaakov Avinu wanted to reveal the cats when Mashiach comes. Now he's coming, instead of telling Mashiach, he tells each person what's your characteristics. What are the things that you have to work? What is your role in the Malchut of Hashem? What are you involved to bring the Mashiach? Therefore, Yaakov Avinu is teaching us a very big lesson. Right. To make the Har Israel happy, to tell them when Mashiach comes, that's not the happiness for them. To make them happy, you tell them you have a role to bring Mashiach. Your potential, what you are standing for, what are your nisyanot in life is. Reuven, Shimon, Levi, which one of you, what you are doing is not random. It's not silly tabiatnis. It's not that the nature is dealing with you. Anything that you are doing, your characteristics, your mitzvot, what you are standing and you are doing, you are bringing Mashiach. What you think that this nisayon, this test is frustrating, is making you frustrated, and you don't know what to do with yourself. You should know that you are bringing Mashiach with this nisayon, with this test. Imagine two people are digging the ground in a very hot day in summer, and one of them is doing it through slavery. The other one knows there is a gem beneath, and is getting to gem. Both are doing physically the same thing, but the motivation, the way that they do it, is much different. The other one is losing himself, is eating up himself, but the one that he knows there is a gem beneath, It gives him power, it gives him energy, it gives him kovach. Therefore, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is telling Yaakov Avinu, you want to build up this nation, show the way to them that they could build up themselves. And what you are standing for is not nothing, it's not emptiness. What you are doing, you are bringing Mashiach. You have a role in bringing Mashiach. This is more important than telling them when the Mashiach is going to come. And that's the way to build them up. That's the way to give them the courage and the power that they should carry themselves in the tortures of life. Shimon and Levi Achim. Shimon and Levi are brothers. What does it mean? Ashkuach. You know that they're brothers. Rashi says, B'Sadachat al Shechem al Yosef. The real player of Yosef was Shimon Levi. The real player of Shechem was Shimon and Levi. Therefore, these are their brothers. They are in one etzah. Therefore, that is not good. You get together and your coming together somehow is damaging. Keli chamas mecherotehem. The tools that you have, the tools of weaponry that you have is chamas, is stolen. You stole from Esav. This sword is not our profession. Our profession is Torah, is love, is yedidut. What you did to Shechem was wrong. They came and they did the Brit Milah. They became close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, even though that they did it Shelo Lishma. But once people are coming close to Hashem, you have to love them, you have to like them, and you have to make them to become closer and closer. What you did and destroyed them was wrong. Besodam al Tavo Nafshi. He says, when you get together, my nefesh should not come there. Rashi says, Besodam al Tavo Nafshi, Zeh Ma'aseh Zimri. When Zimri ben Salu comes to Moshe Rabbeinu and says that this lady is mutar or asur. He says, asur is mityani, is a goy. He says, bat mitro, viterlach. He says, the daughter of Yitro, women made mutar for you. In that battlefield between Zimri ben Salu from Shevet of Shimon and Moshe Rabbeinu, al tavo nafshi, my soul should not enter there. Now Rashi says, what does it mean, my soul should not enter there? When the Torah says Shimon, Zimri ben Salu, Ben Shimon, when it's Ben Shimon, it doesn't go Ben Yaakov. It doesn't say Ben Yaakov. My name should not be there. Now the question is, what does that mean? If your name should be there, you deserve to be there. If your name should not be there, should not be there. What type of point is that? And again, in their gathering, you should not join my honor. Rashi says, what's that? Korach. Again, battlefield against Moshe Rabbeinu. And he says, my name should not be there. And Taka Apostle says, Korach ben Levi. He doesn't say Ben Yaakov. Why doesn't he go to Yaakov? No, the Mepharshim say, what's Yaakov Avinu is doing? If Yaakov Avinu's name has to be there, let it be there. If it doesn't have to be there, it's not going to be there. Why Yaakov Avinu have to say that? And it's very interesting, both of them are against Moshe. It's unbelievable. Zimri ben Salu can against Moshe, Korach ben Moshe. No, what's the midah of Moshe? Emet, Torah. What's the midah of Yaakov? Emet. Now I want to ask you a question. You have a battlefield, and two people are fighting, two great people in the city. One is totally sheker, the other one is emet. It's very easy to find out what you should do. What about if both are very close to emet? We are confused. Which one is right? What's going to happen? You're going to have too many casualties, because the people will get confused what to choose. Now, if we say something happens with the name of somebody, means its characteristic is going to be there. If Emet of Yaakov would get to Korach, if Emet of Yaakov would be misused by Zimri ben Salu, then the projection of what's happening is very close to Emet. There were people would get confused, and we would have much more casualties. 24,000 people died, thousands of people by Korach died. Wow. Therefore, Yaakov Avinu is davening to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and is telling him that please, my kovach, my emet should not be abused in this battlefield. Should be clear what's emet, what's sheker, that if somebody wants to find out what's emet, what's sheker, he should be able to find out. Because if my midah would be abused here, this is misguidance of emet, and we're going to have too much casualties. Yaakov Avinu here, Chassidus, is not selfish and self-centered. He's helping Israel. Ki ba'apam har goish, with their anger, they kill the person. That's talking about Shechem, Rashi says. And with their desire, Iqeru shor. What does Iqeru means? They uprooted, they crippled shore ox. What's that? Yosef. What do you mean they uprooted? They didn't do. Rashi. Their desire was to uproot the shore, but never happened. Very interesting. Both were with judgment. Shechem and Hamorah, they made the bet din, and they decided that everybody's Chayam Mito, and they killed them. Yosef, they made the bet din, and through the bet din, they decided to do whatever that they had to do. Now Torah calls Shechem and Hamorah upon with the anger, and by Yosef it's called Birsonam, with their will. In other words, Kaas, anger, but Kaas, anger. In other words, in Hebrew we have two words, Kaas, Av, Evra. Can you see Evra? Kaas is a natural phenomenon that when it comes, person gets angry, a Kaas. Now Kaas, at the time that heated up, is Av. But if the heating goes down, but the anger stays in a person, that's Evra. Therefore, Arurapam ki as. He cursed their apam, their anger, that's us because it was too intense. Ve'evratam ki qashata. And their wrath because harsh. What they kept inside was harsh. Therefore, now in my say of Shechem ki upon the Af, they did with Af, he says he cursed. Now the Mepharshim say even at the time of cursing, he doesn't curse themselves. He cursed the anger. And that's curse bracha. He says that your curse should not be awakened because it's too much. Therefore, for Bapam Arguish, he tells them, I curse them, and Evra Gashata. Now, for Bersona, what should we do? They had the Ratzon desire to kill Yosef, to destroy Yosef. What should we do? I will gather them in Yaakov, and I will scatter them in Israel for Parnasa. Shimon would be very poor, Rashi says. To go granot. I give them the worriness of Parnasa, that they have to go one place to another place, scattered, that they shouldn't have a wrong ratzon. Wrong ratzon comes from comfort. When you are in comfort zone, you have a wrong ratzon. Now what do? I take away that comfort from you, and that's the remedy for you. Taka, Levi, I'm not saying Levi because I'm a Levi, it's not, don't take it personal. Levi took it well. And he became Sheva Levi, he understood, he used it up. But Shimon, unfortunately, didn't, and became Zimri ben Saru. Yehuda, ata Yeducha achecha. Yehuda, you, your brothers, they're gonna acknowledge to you. And your hand should be in the nape of your enemy. And you can catch them, they're gonna run away, and you're gonna catch them. They're gonna bow down to you, the children of your father. Gurar Yehuda. Yehuda is the young lion, the cub of a lion. Yehuda, Mitereh Beni Alita. From the prayer of my son, you came up. Rashi says, Mitereh Beni Alita, by Yosef. What happens by Yosef? Yehuda says, Ma betza, why should we kill him? What's the food? Kara Rabat Karye, he crouches and lies down like a lion, and like an awesome lion, who would provoke him. It's talking about Yehuda, with fight and everything, we also Sheva Yehuda. Don't pass down scepter. Shevet means two things, tribe, and Shevet means the makar. Scepter. Scepter means the authority of the malchut. The king as a makar, as the king. That king is called scepter Shevet. Now that Shevet of kingdom should not be removed from Yehuda. The Yaakov Avinu is giving kingdom to Yehuda. Why is giving kingdom to Yehuda? Because kingdom comes with the responsibility. What did Yehuda do? When they didn't have food, Yehuda got up and said, I should be sinner to you for the rest of my life if I don't. Therefore, he was the one that he got food. Therefore, through accepting the achrayut, therefore from here we learn out. Somebody wants to be shoche, to shefa berach Avraham HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he has to accept achrayut. We are living in society is free achrayut. Don't accept the achrayut. What is it? Why do you have to feel pressure, this and that? No. the backbone of Beracha, the backbone of Shefa comes with Achrayut, like Yehuda. Therefore, Ramban says from here, Bnei Chashmonaim, just 2 weeks ago was Chanukah, Bnei Chashmonaim, they became king, and you know what happened to the family of Chashmonaim? All got destroyed. There's only one Eved stayed alive, and Ramban says, why did they deserve such a great punishment? Because they were over on the command of the father. The father says, Yosef Shevet Yehuda, kingdom should not be removed from Yehuda, and they removed it from Yehuda. They were Shevet Levi. Mechochem Elagrav, and nor a legislator from among the descendants, Ad Kiyavoshiro Tilam Hasushiro Til Mashiach. Velo Yigatamim. And Asifat Chachamim and everything is being, and to him shall assemble the nations. Now, Yehuda, besides that, he has a lot of wine. Wine is the city of Yehuda. Osira Gefen Yero. He will tie to a vine, Yero is donkey. In other words, he would tie up donkey for a one tree. And for one branch, vine branch, Beni Atono. The baby, the foal of his donkey. They have so much wine that he will wash with the wine his garments. Wine becomes like water. And with the blood of the grapes, they have so much grape juice, he would wash his clothing. Reddened inayim, his eyes would be red from wine. They have so much wine to drink wine. And they're going to have whitened teeth from milk. Therefore, Yehuda would have a lot of milk and a lot of wine. Now, Mefarshim says, Ulven Shinayim Mechalav, widened teeth from halab. What does it mean? Dorshe Rishim will say, if you could give to a person white teeth or halab, which one is better? Leven Shinayim Mechalav. Leven Shinayim, white teeth is better than white teeth is better than milk. What's a white teeth? Smile. If you show smile to your friend, it's better than the gift. Therefore, a smile is the greatest gift that you could give to your friend. Your friend doesn't need your money, doesn't need your candy. What does he need? He needs your support and smile. Attack at the door is like that. And Taka, Yehuda is the one who carries the nation, and he brings them. Now, we have Zebulun and Issachar. Zebulun were merchants. And they make money for Issachar. Zebulun lechov yam mishkon. Zebulun, by the shore of the seas, is settled because the merchant he has to travel. Hu lechov aniyot, and he is by the shore of the ships, the harbor of the ships. V'yarkatu al Sidon, and the border goes to Sidon. Therefore, talks about that Zebulun. Now, Torah about Zebulun doesn't say anything except being merchant. Oh, why? Why doesn't Torah elaborate? Say something. Moshe Rabbeinu says, Ismach Yisachar. Ismach Zevulun b'setcha, v'Yisachar b'olecha. He says Zevulun before Yisachar. Moshe Rabbeinu wrote from Yaakov. He put Zevulun before Yisachar. See, somebody told me that, we have to go to job, we have to go to work. Working and doing is the Azazel. I wish I was in the Midrash to learn. I told him, this statement is Yitzhar. It's Yitzhar. Because Yitzhar gets to a person that this is Azazel, then you don't do your job, and you don't do this, nish here, nish there, and through that destroys the person. Torah has a great chokhmah. Torah for Zevulun wrote only one pasuk, nothing else. And what's the pasuk? That he does merchant. What? A Jew is the merchant? That's the legacy of the Shevet? That's what the Shevet stands for? Yes. Depends. When Zevulun realizes his kochot, and he exercises his kochot for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he uses for Hashem. It's Kodesh HaKadoshim. We don't have to talk anything more. We don't have to say Zevulun goes to Hechal and bring out the Sefer Torah. We don't have to say what Zevulun does. Because being merchant and Eved of Hashem, he's bringing out the glorious of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And that's the Kodesh HaKadoshim for Zevulun. As long as you are honest, you do Kiddush Hashem, you do with the halacha, with the gitarim of halacha. That is it. We don't need any more pasuk. A lot of times in life, we think we need another pasuk for Zevulun. But we don't need, reality of life, we don't need the Kiddush Hashem that they do in the job, with being honest, integrity, with the way that they talk to Goyim, to show what does the Jew mean. Somebody told me in downtown, I don't know if it's true or not, these two Chinese or Japanese, I don't know, two people were talking together, and they were saying, we rather deal with Jews. Because at the end of the day, they are more honest. It's Kiddush Hashem. This is Kiddush Hashem. Or if we hear the other way, it's the Chilul Hashem. Unbelievable pasuk in Torah. Torah, when he modifies the Zevulun, he doesn't say anything except merchant. Being a merchant is the legacy of a Jew. It's the legacy of a Shevet. Yes. Because the Kiddush Hashem, they understand their koach, their power. The power is not for majesty. The power is not being a merchant as a merchant. Being a merchant to be Mekadesh Shem Shamayim, to do Kiddush Hashem. A lot of times, especially in Los Angeles, we talk about, to be Mekadesh Shem Shamayim. Because we are living in society, that the society has a lot of gadgets. And we try to compete and to tell them, use it for Kiddush Hashem. Now, that is true, and we are trying to do that. But we have to understand there are two ways of doing things. One way is, I'm man of prestige. Everything has to be with prestige. My Torah also has to be with prestige. Or no, I love Torah so much. Torah is so important. Torah is my life that I want to glorify the Torah. I want to make the Torah glorious. And that makes an afkamina. You have to understand there is a pitfall. What about if it clashes? What about if my prestige clashes with the hashkaf of Torah? What about if my things that I want to do is not in the right atmosphere of Torah? Then what's going to happen? Somebody who wants to practice his prestige in Torah, he doesn't care, he does it. Somebody who Torah is his love, Torah is his life, he wants to glorify Torah, he doesn't get in pitfall. That's a very important Messiah. Therefore, Zevulun was the one who said, I carry the Torah, I carry, and he showed. He showed the Kiddush Hashem, he showed the clash point, he made sure to make the Torah prior, not to make the prestige and kavod prior. Once the person once the person does that, he lost the game. Therefore, he tries to be prestigious and he acts Torah in the prestigious manner. No, that's not right. You love the Torah so much. Torah is integral in your life that you want to give that glorious, to glorify the Torah, to make Torah to be glorious. And that makes the flashpoint. Issachar, Kamur Gari. Now, Issachar, what do we need for Issachar? What do we need Issachar? Issachar learns Torah. He has to be like a donkey, or he has to be smart like a fox. Has chokhmah and wisdom. King. He has to be like a donkey, got bones, strong bone. Yes. In Torah, learning Torah, you have to nullify your mind like a chamor, like a donkey. A person has to feel in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I don't know anything, I'm worse than a donkey. Person comes with full arrogancy, I understand better, I know better, superstitious, what are they talking about? He never learns Torah. Learning Torah, a person has to make himself donkey. What does donkey mean? Donkey means not that he doesn't understand. He nullifies his mind to understand what's the mind of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What does Hashem think? How does Hashem work it out? And then he tries to understand. Once he understands, he tries to understand. Like Ramban says about Rambam, when it comes to a din, he says, I give full respect to Rambam. Full respect to Rambam. But these things, I don't understand what Rambam talking about. Chamor Nose Sefarim, I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be like the donkey to carry the idea of Rambam with myself. I'm not going to be the donkey. I have to understand. Person has to nullify his mind to understand Chokhmat Torah. Once you nullify the mind and works, then he works out in the Gedalim of Torah. Now he's telling Rambam in Gedalim of Torah, you are not right there. I'm not going to. Bones, we need the strong bones. Means, what does strong bones mean? Imagine somebody nullifies his mind for Torah, and he understands Torah. Now, if somebody comes and says, no, this thing that you say is not right. Oh, you're right. You have to have a backbone for Torah. You have to stand up for Torah. You have to got him. Strong bones for Torah. It's the Chokhmah of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We don't sell it so cheap. We don't sell it for nothing. This is the mentality of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We just sell it because the society said so. Because somebody got up, a great psychologist said something, we give up everything? Or we have backbones. We understand this is the reality of our life. We understand this is the right thing. We fight for it. We have a bone. We don't just read it and go, he rests between the boundaries. What is the Rashi says? Resting in boundaries means he doesn't have makma menucha. Somebody who learns Torah, learns day, night. Sleeps on the way. Doesn't sleep, doesn't go to bed to sleep like Yaakov Avinu. Vayar menucha kitov. He saw the tranquility kitov is good. With haaretz kinoemo, and he saw the land is pleasant. Vayechi is full. Now the Torah has to be pleasantness. Torah cannot be with bitterness. Person has to see the neimut of Torah, and that's the education. That's the chinuch. The chinuch is not we float children with Torah and Torah. Tonight is Shabbat. Please, don't load your children with the question of the parasha to know this, answer that. What do you know? What you don't know? Don't leave them alone. Let them enjoy Shabbat. Show them the presence of Shabbat. Show them the ne'imut of Torah and mitzvot. Don't make a load for them. Torah says, you want him to carry a load, make it pleasant. He takes his shoulder to carry the load. If you make it a load, always it stays like a load and he wouldn't carry it. Listen to Torah carefully. He has to see it, not that you see. If you see and impose on him is the load, he would not carry it. The children, they have to see this menucha of Torah kitov with haaretz kinoema, and they should see the land is pleasant. Once they see that, what do you want from children? You want that they should take the burden? What should you do? You have to show the neimut. You have to show the pleasantness. You have to be very well behaved person. Because if they see any shortcoming from you, they blame the Torah for that. They blame that Torah is not good. Torah is not good. Therefore, we have to be very careful, very careful, extra careful. We have to be very well behaved. Once we are well behaved and this, they say it, and Sachar would be to pay the levy of the service. In other words, he would give the horot for Kahal Israel for Dorot of Torah. Don yadin amu. Don is the one who charges the amu. It's Shimshon. Ke achat yitzayik order zervant. Ye don nachash. Don would be like a snake ale on the way. Shefun like a viper ale orach along the path. Hanoshech besod. He bites the heels of the horse, and the rider would fall behind. That's Shimshon is talking about Shimshon. And all of a sudden, Yaakov Avinu sees Shimshon between the pillars, and he's davening to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, please Hashem, return back my power to me, to take the last revenge from Plishtim. He says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, nitna ba shineklu Plishtim edena, besofo lo mar zochreni na bechasecheni. No, Achapam. He said, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, please, I beg you, and only this time give me power. Yaakov Avinu here is the davening for Shimshon, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu should give him power. God, the troops will troop forth, and he will troop back on his footsteps. God is a warrior, and the best thing for a warrior is to come back from the war, and he comes back. Asher is the best thing for Asher. 8 days of Hanukkah, they had to go to Chelek of Asher to bring oil. Oil is Asher. Asher, Shemen Lachmo, his Nunesh to Rogane. Asher, Lachmo is oil. And he would provide delicacies for the king. Naphtali is the deed that sent forth, because Esau comes and complains and said, this place belongs to me, and they send Naphtali to get the document, and he would deliver sayings of that are beautiful. Ben Porad Yosef, a son of grace is Yosef. Ben Porad Alihayin, the son of grace to the eye. In other words, Yosef somehow has a chen, and everybody would be attracted, and in the other hand, it's above ayin. Nobody has ayin hara against Yosef. Very interesting, both simultaneously.